When should I start the overseeding process? Is there a product that will kill crabgrass and still allow me to overseed? And where does dethatching my lawn fit in the overseeding process? Folks, I've got answers to these questions and more coming up on Garden Sense. Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well folks, you did not disappoint this past week as I had an overabundance of emails sent to me, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of them had to deal with the overseeding process that we discussed last week. So we actually selected 4 emails that we're going to address here today on this video podcast. So buckle up everybody, let's jump right in. The first question is from Hratch. Tim, what product can I order to get rid of crabgrass and broadleaf weeds and still overseed this fall? So the easy answer to your question is it just depends on how long you're willing to wait before you overseed. So for example, if you use Image All-in-One Weed Killer by itself and put it down on your lawn today, you need to wait 30 days before you can safely overseed. Now, I want to reference our video from last week where we dealt with the overseeding process. And one of the ways to really cut down on the amount of time that you need to wait to overseed is by combining the product Wiltproof with, in this case, Image All-in-One Weed Killer. Now, the reason you want to combine those two is the Wiltproof will actually act as a substance that will allow the image to stick to the lawn, stick to the weeds, and not get down to the soil surface. So what you want to do is actually take 1 ounce of Wiltproof, 4 ounces of the Image All-in-One Weed Killer, and add it to a gallon of water in a pump sprayer. You can then apply that to your lawn, and as I just mentioned, that Wiltproof is going to make that Image All-in-One Weed Killer stick to the lawn, stick to the broadleaf weeds, the crabgrass in your case that you're trying to kill. What that means, it's not going to get down to the soil surface, which means the soil is going to be fine and you can actually overseed within a couple of days. So I would head over to rosensonline.com, pick up some Wiltproof, pick up some Image All-in-One Weed Killer. We are actually out of stock right now. We are trying to get it back in, but I'll be honest with you folks, it's been a very, very difficult road. This is a product that's in high demand because of how good it is, and we're just having difficulty getting it. So again, add that Wiltproof with the Image, and that's going to allow you to start overseeding within a couple of days of application. The next question is from John. Tim, I'm ready to follow your video on overseeding, but you didn't mention when to start. I'm in South Jersey. Okay, so for a large chunk of the country, you actually just want to wait to overseed until the fall. We always recommend around Labor Day. So frankly, you can start that process right now as long as the soil temps aren't too hot. And I'll be honest with you, in South Jersey, they shouldn't be. So again, you can follow all of those steps if you start right now, and you should be totally fine. It's actually not a bad time to start right now anyway, because it's going to give that lawn a little bit more time to get established. That means you're also going to be able to mow it a couple of times before the threat of frost and those colder temps that winter brain start to move in. The third question for today is from David. Tim, thanks for your video on overseeding your lawn. I just purchased an electric dethatcher for my lawn and was planning to dethatch it before I overseed. How would I fit that into the 6-step method, or should I wait to dethatch in the spring? So this is a good question, and I'm going to tell you how I would handle it and let you guys make a decision on whether or not this is something you want to do. What I personally would do, I would dethatch first, and then I would actually rake up and remove all of that thatch buildup. Then I would let the grass grow for a little bit. Then I would actually start the overseeding process, beginning with scalping the lawn. Now, if you look at the picture that we've set up and on the screen here, you may ask yourself, well, why can't I just use that thatch as the basis of the protective covering that we're using to protect the grass seed? You probably can, and I don't really necessarily see a huge issue with that. But for me, the whole reason that we are dethatching is to remove that thatch buildup, that stuff that isn't naturally decaying, the stuff that's really impacting the lawn in a negative way. And so my thought process is, if we're going to be removing that to keep a healthy lawn anyway, let's completely get rid of it and use the grass clippings from the healthy lawn to actually cover and protect the seed. So again, that's how I would do it. I would dethatch, remove the thatch completely from the lawn, let the grass grow, a week or so, and then go ahead and mow it, or scalp it rather, and then follow that overseeding process that we laid out last week. The last email for today is from Thomas, but it's not actually a question. Tim, thanks for another great season. It's mid-August, and with all this summer heat, the lawn still looks great. So it's always nice from time to time when we receive emails like this. And Thomas, we completely agree. Your lawn looks fantastic, and we appreciate the kind words. Folks, at the end of the day, we really try to provide you with the very best advice for your lawns and for your gardens. And I promise you that if you listen to what I tell you to do, use the products that I tell you to use, you're going to have a great looking lawn. You're going to have beautiful looking plants in your garden. So Thomas, keep up the good work. Your lawn looks absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for sharing those pictures. All right, folks, just a couple final thoughts before we wrap up this week's video podcast. Guys, I got a number of emails this past week from customers who've been with us for a very long time, and they wanted to know why we moved away from the other overseeding process that we had recommended for years. That process was killing the weeds, waiting a couple of weeks, putting down some topsoil, putting down the Barenbrug Turf Saver RTF seed, putting down turf truss, then go ahead and covering that with easy straw, and obviously finishing it off by watering it every single day with once a week using Kickstart. Folks, that is a completely fine overseeding process, and it's going to be effective. The reason that we moved away from it was simply to help try to save our customers some time and money. Now, again, from a time perspective, you have to wait weeks sometimes after you put down a weed killer before you can overseed. And with this new process, you can start it within a couple of days. Obviously, you're not going to need as much easy straw, if any at all, because you're scalping your lawn and you're using all of those clippings to act as the straw to protect the seed. So I'll be honest with you though, if you are happy with the overseeding process we recommended for years, go ahead and keep using it. Folks, if you don't feel that it's broke and it doesn't require fixing, then God bless you. Keep doing it. We are happy to provide you with all the products that you need over at rosensonline.com, regardless of which process you use. Folks, if you do have additional questions about overseeding your lawn, or any questions regarding your lawn, your gardens for that matter, make sure you send them directly to me, Tim, at rosensonline.com. Folks, I have been absolutely bombarded with emails, which is okay. Please keep them coming. But what used to be a 48-hour process between me getting back to you is now more like a 4 to 5 day process, simply because of the sheer volume of emails that are coming in. So I would ask that you just be patient with me. I promise, if I receive your email, I will respond. Guys, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thank you for all the questions that you send in. It helps us produce this show each and every week. Folks, I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. God bless.